It's Wednesday, Holo Cult. You know what that means. It's the night shift, and we are back. Welcome to the middle of the week. Hope everybody's doing well. Having as good a time as possible. Trucking through. And just here to hang out for a little bit. Talk about some weird stuff.
Weird stuff indeed. Gotta stay on
That's true.
topic.
True.
Weird stuff.
We got
weird stuff.
We got dinged for talking about biscuits. Not dinged by YouTube, dinged by listeners. So we'll just stick to what we know, which is not a lot. Anyway. Oh, yeah, I forgot about all the storms since we last here. Anybody that was in the path of any of those tornadoes in Nebraska, Iowa, Oklahoma, Texas, anywhere else, pretty much everywhere. I hope you're all safe and didn't take any direct hits from those giant bastards.
Word. Did anybody else see? I don't know if it's true or not, but did anybody else see that there was like boulder-sized hail in China?
That's big.
It was huge. It was literally like this big.
That's a big hail.
Yeah. I only saw one of those, and then there was a lot of like probably softball size that was like blowing holes in like tin roofs and stuff. I mean, just blowing holes in them.
Yeah, that would be terrible.
That'd be terrifying to have to experience that.
I know we do get it. Well, not necessarily here, but in our storms, baseball, softball size is not common, but it's not completely unheard of. But boulder size, yeah,
that's a new one. That would be terrifying. Yeah. It would just decimate everything. You wouldn't be safe anywhere except for underground.
Yeah, it's like I'm trying to imagine a boulder. Like imagining one is hard enough, but imagining like a storm of boulder-sized hail is ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Agreed.
Anybody have any more weird stuff going on with them? I know it's kind of a weird time. A lot of strangeness going on. Wonder how everyone's feeling. We got a couple people in here. While we're in here, let's hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, share the show, share the live around. Maybe we'll fall on some new peeps. They'll come in here and they'll have some weird stuff to talk about.
Or make fun of us.
Yeah, or
one or the other.
Because Olivia in the chat about to start ghost hunting. That should get weird.
Good.
That should get weird.
Good. I watched I'm trying to think of the right word to use. Interesting doc the other day. So my daughter picked it out. She said, let's watch the Aliens. And I said, all right, cool, we'll watch Aliens. I was like, are you sure? Are they going to scare you? And she's like, no, I like Aliens. Speaking of which, I have another weird story about her. But
she's something else.
It was about the CE5 stuff. Because like Greer was in it. I don't remember the main woman who, she's like some famous-ish reporter type deal. And then she decides, she's like, well, I'm going to make one about aliens because I like the stars and stuff. She had regressions and thinks that she was abducted at some point. But the CE5 stuff is interesting to listen to people who can meditate and expand their consciousness enough to make contact and manifest entities is crazy.
Was there when we were out at the Kansas City conference, were they were
Yeah, they tried doing the CE5 thing. And actually, I can't remember which one it was. It was the Spirit Convention, but I don't remember if it was the first or second one we did. But there was a woman there, older lady, that Ed and April said we should keep, or we should try to meet. I'm about 99% sure she was in this documentary. Same lady.
I wonder. I'm trying to think.
I don't remember the name of her either, though. So that's my bad.
Yeah, it was. Was it the one that was sitting kind of catty corner to us with the alien
I
heads
think.
and stuff, and the book?
No. This lady's more of like a paranormal lady, but she does get into alien stuff, but I think she's mostly paranormal. Actually, she's the one that grew up in the Conjuring house.
Oh yeah, that was okay. That was the second one.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I couldn't remember.
My mom met her.
Yeah, she grew up in the Conjuring house. Yeah, it's that same lady. She was in the documentary.
My mom actually bought her book and got it signed, and my mom started reading it and said it freaked her out. She just got a bad vibe from it, and she gave it to me, so it's on the bookshelf over there. I haven't read it yet.
Cool. It was interesting though to see some of Greer's pictures that he got. Like, I mean, I'm not a computer whiz. I'm sure they can be faked, but dude, the one of the light being is fucking weird. 100% weird. Because he showed a light being picture, and then he showed what he claims is, I guess, an alien sat in with all of them. Like he took a picture of this person or something, and it almost looks like somebody's torso, but the head's all fucked up. Like it's like a triangle head.
I think it looked a lot like. I think I had a picture of it. It looked a lot like.
Lamb or whatever. That might be the same one.
Crowley.
Yeah,
I saw a comparison side by side. I think I may have shared it to the Discord right after that was popping out. What was it on? Prime? I'll have to watch it.
I think it's called like We're Not Alone or something like that.
I'll have to check it out.
It wasn't terrible. I mean, it was kind of like the same thing, you know. That's why I kind of avoid a lot of those anymore, because a lot of them are just the same thing on repeat.
Just kind of rehash stuff over and over again.
Yeah. I would, but it is cool. I mean, the lady said she had an experience doing the CE5 stuff. She saw a light orb manifest. So that's pretty crazy. It was interesting though. And it just made me want, it was just the one talking point that kind of got me, was sitting and listening to people who figure out a way to meditate and expand their consciousness to begin making contact with these beings. That's an interesting thought to me.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of furthers what we talked about last week, where the consciousness is. I feel like it's the key to the kingdom of all of this stuff. You know, and altered states of consciousness is when you either open a door or open something to where whatever these entities are can contact you. It's wild.
I saw a thing too. I want to say it was like old Patton or old CIA doc. It wouldn't have been a Patton, but it was, I don't know if it was like warning about or insinuating about putting laws in place in regards to dealing with people's consciousness, like almost like a privacy type deal.
That's interesting.
But I mean, it does seem like on a everyday basis, it kind of gets put out there more and more that the consciousness is its own ether, so to speak, almost like a Wi-Fi that people are able to
which is
tap into.
terrifying.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
It is definitely terrifying that something so, but then, I mean, that almost begs the question that maybe they know more about the consciousness than we think we know,
Bro, guaranteed.
which sucks.
Guaranteed. I wouldn't be, I don't think they know all of it, but I bet they know far more than they let on. I was even watching something the other day about them recovering bits and pieces from crashes throughout time, like through, Roswell and other similar crashes. And it is fucking weird listening to these guys talk. And like the one guy was essentially fucking describing fiber optic cable. And this would have been like before like our current fiber optic cables. And it almost makes you wonder if like a lot of this stuff that we use on a day-to-day basis, if it didn't come from something in those regards.
Because you hear the adages like what the public knows is like 50 years behind what real technology and real military technology is. So if they were, skeezing up stuff from crashes 50 years ago, 60, 70 years ago, then that's the timeline spot on.
Right. It's definitely, it's interesting to sit and listen to that type of stuff to kind of catch those little pieces of information like that. But back to my daughter before I forget, everybody kind of seen my daughter and she's 4. And as far as I know, she does watch a lot of weird YouTube. But with that being said, she drew a picture the other day of our family, drew all 4 of us at my mom's house. And then what does she do? And you know what? Maybe it was from her being on the show. Now that I'm sitting here, you'll understand in a second. But she drew all 4 of us standing there. And then she started drawing a circle all the way around us. And my mom's like, well, what's that, Maeve? And she's like, it's a portal. We're in a portal. And I'm like, I was like, how do you know what a portal is? And of course, she, her 4-year-old mind just, tiptoed down the path there. She, never would give me an answer on how she knew what a portal was.
That's weird.
She specifically called it a portal too.
I don't think we talked about it while we were on the show.
No, I was thinking maybe she saw the logo here spinning in the background behind us.
She still have to equate that to a portal.
Exactly. Yeah.
She's something.
She's definitely something.
She talks to chicken monsters in the vent too. Maybe it probably is a fucking portal.
Probably. I don't know. I thought that was bizarre though.
It's weird.
She's interesting. Weird.
Hopefully it's like a protection bubble.
I hope so. I mean, it's also strange. I mean, then you got to keep in mind that I do talk about this stuff and they probably hear more than I realize they hear. But I mean, even when Gage was little, Gage talked about seeing red and blue orbs come into his room and talk to him when he was about her age.
Bigfoot.
Yeah, I can remember him saying Bigfoot was peeking in the window, which I almost certainly call bullshit on that one. But the fact, the one that really fucked me up was him describing those red and blue orbs come into his room and they talk to him. I'm like, I'm not saying that it's not possible for kids to come up with this stuff, but it is weird.
That's strange. That is strange. Maybe they're just in tune a little more than the rest of us. And as long as it's not bothering them.
Yeah, I don't know, man. And it's weird how for a hot minute now, everybody close to me has been seeing shit. And like, my wife's seen stuff, Gage has seen stuff, Maeve may or may not have seen stuff. That's kind of up for debate, but and I don't know. Like sometimes I legitimately question my own psyche, if you will. And even my own, like, you ever feel like the what you're looking at, like that transition between your eyes to your brain is slow once in a while? You ever feel like that?
Sometimes.
Like it's a slower processing rate while you're like, man,
what the fuck is going on?
I don't know. Yeah, so I don't know. Because and then the things you see out of your periphery, is it bullshit? Is it all in your head? Or is there something to it? Those are the questions I have to ask myself. I know there's a lot of people in the chat that would say both. There'd be probably one camp that's like, most of the things you see out of the corner of your eyes, bullshit. And then there'd be another camp that's like, no, everything. Yeah, see, Twist says everything's all in your head. So it probably is. It's I don't know, because I could have swore I saw something the other day. But is it a figment of my fucking imagination?
At this,
because on one hand, being where we are, and I'm sure it's for anybody, not even just us in particular, but everybody who wants to see something, you almost have to take that into consideration to a degree when you do see something. You know what I mean? Because is there a force? Are you forcing it to at a certain point? Are you making it into something that it's really not?
I don't know. I feel like at this point in our little weird journey here, 5 years deep, I feel like we have to take everything we experience as real until we can prove it not real. Does that make sense? Because
yeah,
the amount of weird shit that's happened is like beyond the realm of coincidence at this point. So I feel like when these things happen, they're happening for a reason. So I'm curious as to what.
It wasn't nothing crazy. It was, I don't even remember what night it was. I know it was recent, but I know that it wasn't her. But I don't know if I was turning the TV on for my daughter or whatever, but it was almost like out of that quick corner of my eye, because it made me double take. Pow. I could have swore I saw my wife standing in the door, but I know she wasn't in the doorway. And it was weird. And my wife is really short, so I don't know in comparison. But if I was sitting on my bed looking out into the hallway, the head would have been right above one of those stand-up dressers. Like, it would almost been like the head would have been resting on the dresser, because her chin was like right at the top of it. So that's probably what, 4 foot ish.
Yeah, probably pretty close.
But it definitely, like, it was my wife, but it wasn't my wife, because the features, and that's what's even doesn't even make sense, is that I caught features, which shouldn't have happened, being out of the periphery and that fast. So I don't know if my brain added to it.
That's weird.
But I mean, it was
Didn't Shauna
definitely
just have an experience where she thought you?
Yeah, right. Yeah, walking behind her.
That's weird. It's weird that now, I don't know, man. You know, my brain always goes like to the nefarious realm of the
Yeah,
paranormal.
yeah,
I'm a firm believer
yeah.
that, like, whatever these things are, they are master manipulators. Whether it's for our own good, whether it's for their good, I don't know. They are leaps and bounds ahead of us, and they know how to work it against us. It's weird that it's now gotten to both of you to make you think that you're seeing each other when you're not.
Right. But I could tell you right now that the features that I saw, I knew in a heartbeat that it wasn't
Which is
her.
even creepier.
The eyes were way different. Yeah, the eyes were way different. The eyes are what got me. But like I said, in that fraction of a second, how did my brain process that much?
It's like, it reminds me of Stardust. Like with the dates and shit. And was that Stardust? Where he went on the date with the woman?
Yeah, I believe. Yeah,
That's what it
yeah,
makes me
yeah.
think of.
Well, it's
Yeah,
his
but it
wife.
like wasn't, but it was.
Yeah, it wasn't his
That's
wife.
gross.
Yeah. And if it went straight off of appearance, you would assume whatever was there was not friendly. But I never felt. I still don't. Even every day in my house and where I go, I still don't feel nefarious shit like there's things out to get me in my day-to-day life. I mean, other than life itself, but
Yeah, man, maybe
I think
that's
that's
it.
kind of
You know, like our everyday normal lives have so many stressors and so much like weighing down on us. Maybe you just don't have any, juice left to feel anything else threatening.
it could be. It could be. I don't know, man. Like it's hard to it's hard for me to even sit and rationalize that as a real event because there's a big part of me that it's kind of like your brain probably added to something that wasn't there. But then there's the other part of me that's like, well, as we've learned through Discord experiences as well as everywhere else, it's important to log things. Maybe you do find out it was just a vase sitting on the edge of the dresser, and nothing more than that. Well, on the other hand, maybe another thing happens, and you look back at that one and go, "Well, maybe there was something to that."
It's weird. It's weird. If it was a one-off where you thought you saw her, but it really wasn't her, like that's weird enough. But the fact that not too
Yeah,
long ago she had the same feeling that you were there when you weren't,
yeah.
I feel like those two things on top of each other I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if it's nefarious or not,
You
but that's
see,
weird.
all right. Since we're going down this path, and everybody seems kind of interested in it slightly, this is kind of why I bring up the documentary. Not that it was extra special, but it made me ponder on the consciousness and connection through consciousness, right? And the way Greer talked about it, from what I caught, and you can keep in mind, I'm doing this with my 4-year-old daughter. So she's kind of jabbing in one ear, and I'm kind of trying to do my best to pay attention. But it almost made it sound like contact only happens if you're truly ready for that to happen to a varying degree. How do you? What makes you more or less prepared for contact? Right? Because look at all the things that we have relatively experienced through this journey. What would make me more or less capable? And I'm not. I'm not sitting here and saying that I am 100% capable of full on contact from anything. But what if there was a degree? What would make me not fit that criteria to at this point? Like if you had to point something at me Because I'm asking about me specifically, because that's where my brain went. It was like, okay, well, if that's the case, if there is varying degrees of being ready, how or why am I not ready?
I don't know if I buy into that. Like, you have to be, they're not going to make contact with you until you're ready. Because there are thousands of stories of people making contact with whatever the fuck these things are that were not ready. Listen to Barney
That's
Hill's tape of him being abducted. Yeah, that dude wasn't ready.
that's
I,
true. And that's what I mean. I'm not sitting here
no,
saying that I
but
am
I'm
ready.
just thinking about like what she said. I feel like maybe if you're initiating contact, like you're the one meditating, I feel like if you have to be in a certain state and be ready before you can contact them, I'll buy into that. I'll go for that. But them doing whatever they want with us, I don't feel like anybody's ready for one of them to step through a portal in their bedroom or some shit like that.
I feel that. I think I can agree with
I
that.
feel like
But that's where my mind went. Like I'm like, okay, well, and how the fuck do you even know if you're like I see some comments like give him permission and shit like that, or if your brain can handle it or not. But how do you know what your brain and brain what it can and can't handle? It's like that's like the guy saying, you know what? If I was in war, if I went off to war, I would kick everybody's ass. That's not true because you don't know how your body is going to react in those type of stressful environments until it's actually put in those. You can train for years and years and years and then be put in that first initial situation and fucking lose your shit. Absolutely lose your shit. Now that's not to say that as time goes on that you won't acclimate to it because there is a point to that. But I don't know. I don't know how one would sit and be like, you know what? I am 100% ready to have a sit down with an Eben or a Gray or whatever's out there, a demonic entity. Let's sit down and have a conversation. How does one make like consciously make that commitment?
yeah, man, I don't know, because kind of touching off what Bob Tacular says here, like a self-limit or self-protection, because you kind of hear that maybe what we are seeing, ghosts, shadow people, cryptids, are some sort of like screen implant for whatever these real beings are, things that we can process, like, oh, like it's a fucking dinosaur in a lake, like, oh, we can handle that. It's a 8-foot primate walking across the street, we can handle that. It's a ghost of a dead relative, like, we can handle that. But how do I don't know. I don't know enough about it. Like, how does one, like you said, how does one get yourself ready? How do you know you're ready?
Right. JJ saying that uh, I'm second guessing what I see and how I feel. I think that's just reason. That's the human brain rationalizing because I can tell you without a fraction of a doubt there are things in my past that I've 100% experienced. And I just kind of unknowingly put some of it together in my head the other day when I was I don't know why I do this, but sometimes I'll run back conversations that we've had or I've had. Uh, and I was running back me telling Derek Hayes story where the lights were coming in the window, woke my wife up, which she then promptly woke me up saying that somebody was shining lights in the window, yada, yada, yada. We saw the craft off into the sky. Well, sitting and thinking about it, I can remember before now keep in mind, this is a dream. I can remember before me and my wife were even together that I used to have vivid, insane nightmares. I can remember the entire layout of my bedroom.
Hey, Holocult. The weather's getting nice, and you know what that means. It's cryptid hunting season. And the first rule to cryptid hunting is good footwear. That's why we're excited to announce our partnership with Tecovas boots. When you're out hunting the dogman or stalking chupacabra, you don't have time to break in boots. That's why Tecovas is so nice. They have first wear comfort. It's hard to find this level of comfort paired with their styles when you're out hunting cryptids.
And let me tell you, their styles are on point. I've always considered getting me a pair of snakeskin boots, and their pair is mint. They also have crocodile boots, caiman boots, ostrich boots, regular leather boots. They have it all, and it's ridiculously awesome. You can even stop by the local Tecovas store, have a complimentary drink or two, and shop new styles. The smell of fresh leather and a friendly staff are at your service. Many stores even have leather custom branding to make your boots truly personalized. And with regular live music and events, there's no in-store experience like it. So just imagine yourself getting a pair of legitimate snakeskin Holosky branded boots. How awesome would that be?
Nothing is going to intimidate a dogman like a nice pair of gator skin boots. If you can't make it into a store, just visit Tecovas.com. That's Tecovas.com. They offer free shipping on all boots as well as free returns and exchanges and ship right to your door. Go to Tecovas.com and find your new favorite pair of boots today.
You walk into my room, there's a dresser off to the left, closet right in front of you. Off to the right, there's a desk with a small end table and a TV on it. I had bunk beds in the bedroom. I can remember in my dreams wedging up against the wall and being terrified of like a 3-foot light bar that was coming through the window scanning the room. I always had it was a recurring dream, nightmare, where this thing is just scanning the room like it's looking for me. It's like a little light bar coming through the window. And then as time moves forward, my wife's staying there, same room. And she wakes me up in the middle of the night because somebody's shining a light in the bedroom. And then we both look out the window and there's a giant orange ball off in the distance.
That's fucking weird. That gave me goosebumps
It is weird.
Thinking about you just being a little kid huddling in the corner of your bedroom, so terrified. And then, unfortunately, you have to ask yourself, is it a dream? You were talking about these things altering our perception and our reality. They could have easily make you feel like it's a dream.
Right. And it's just, it's weird to look back and reanalyze some of that stuff and kind of put puzzle. Cause I never did. I never put those puzzle pieces together until I was running back that conversation with Derek for whatever reason. And I'm like, whoa, shit. Now, mind you, it was a quote unquote dream, but pretty weird coincidence there.
It is weird.
And those are my experiences that I know without a fraction of a doubt that I experienced those things. And in some cases, my wife was there to witness it as well.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
And it also made me once again ponder. I don't know. Because that girl in the documentary got memory regression. I'm like, is that something that I should reconsider? Because I know I've had several people talk to me about it. I mean,
from my perspective, hearing your encounters, it would definitely be interesting, but it almost, in a way, it feels like it would be beneficial if again, like we were talking, if you were ready for it. You know what I mean? Because you have all of these
Yeah.
experiences that you're trying to put in together, and there's just still these like blank spots, like how everything connects. And sometimes they crisscross, sometimes they touch tips, and it makes sense. But I feel like maybe I don't know. And the memory regression thing is like you hear stuff about that too, of it being kind of wishy-washy. So
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course. Of course. You'd have to, and that's the problem with people in today's world. You have to find someone that is at least curious, but also like unbiased. Like I don't really care which way your regression goes. You know what I mean? You don't want somebody that wants it to
yeah,
go one
you
way or
just
the other.
you want them to unlock what you're looking to have unlocked.
Right. Exactly. You don't, because I know that there are people out there that do that shit who are like, I want I want him to validate my theory
Oh
on
yeah.
aliens. So we're gonna influence that direction. But
Excuse
you also have the people that are like, he's full of shit, and I'm gonna make him see that he's full of shit, and then you make it go that way as well. So
me.
I don't know.
It would be. I think I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I feel like it would be interesting, maybe terrifying, maybe. I guess it depends on how much shit you have blocked out. Honestly,
That's also true. Yeah, I mean, it's one of them things you don't know until you're there.
yeah.
You know, you don't know what door you're knocking on until it gets answered.
It is, and it is strange how things like play out. Because would you have ever made that connection had we not talked to Derek? Would you have made it if
I don't
you
know.
didn't
Yeah,
play it back?
I've told the story. I've told the variances of stories
Yeah,
handfuls of times
I
now.
never put it together either until you started talking about it once you said the light bar, and I was like, oh shit, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I know that I've told that story to people before. I couldn't tell you. You know, it's not one that I bring up ultra commonly through the show. I don't think, but I know that I've told people that story before. But it's as you're kind of coming up, you always remember, at least in the back of your head, you're like, that was a dream. So was it, was it this? But then we have all these people talking about abductions and stuff like that who say dreams are a big part of it. Even in some of the research we've done, apocalyptic dreams have something to do with abductions for whatever fucking reason. We never got a clear answer on that, but I think that was in one of the I think the episode was called Governments and Cover Up or something to that degree. But I can remember them specifically asking supposed abductees about having apocalyptic dreams.
That is because I mean we had a ton of people messaging us about
I
end of the
remember.
world dreams and end of like big military movement type of dreams and stuff.
Yep.
I've had a few apocalyptic dreams in my lifetime.
I don't know that I really have.
I had one, I know I mentioned it before, super weird. It was when I was young too. I wake up, I go outside, and there's no one around. No one in, like, I live in a little town of 300 people, lived here all my whole life. Nobody around, nobody around. So I'm young, so I'm like walking to my friends' houses trying to see if they're there. Finally get across town, I get to my buddy's house, and I hear someone like sobbing in their minivan. And I open it up, and it's his mom, and she's hiding under the back seat. And she doesn't say anything. She's just crying. And she's pointing at the sky. And I'm like, what in the hell is going on? And I look up, and there was like 3 gigantic crosses in the sky, like wooden crosses. And I'm like, oh shit, that's probably not good if I'm the only people left here. And there's 3 giant crosses in the sky. But then I woke up after that. I had another one where when my oldest son was young, we were in the backyard playing, throwing like a football around or something. He was little, probably 4 or 5 years old. And I'm standing, we're facing each other, and he starts pointing over my shoulder, and I turn around, there's like a huge comet or something heading right for the Earth. There's nothing you can do at that point. And then right after we got back from Florida, when we went on vacation a couple years back, I had a dream of like a giant wave. Like the boys were out playing on the beach, and we were just kind of standing up on this pier, and then out of nowhere, this massive like 300 footer comes through, which might not have been apocalyptic, but it was apocalyptic for us standing there on the beach.
Yeah. I wouldn't like that.
It's weird.
Oh, speaking of that, though, I did finally get around to watching Leave the World Behind.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I haven't watched that. That's been a minute. It's weird.
Yeah.
They're planting some seeds in that movie.
Definitely weird, man.
Considering who's behind the production team.
Yeah. Well, and it was weird how it got kicked off in the movie, how all the outages and stuff, and
right
then
after
you're like, oh, well, that's kind of weird because we just had a bunch of outages.
Yeah. Strange.
It was definitely weird because I remember there was dude, Conspiracy World was just lit the fuck up with that movie. I never did get around to watching it though. I think it's because I didn't have Netflix at the time. All of my stuff had got canceled, so we just kind of left it alone. We finally got Netflix again, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna see what's up, and I watch it, and I'm like, I really fucking hated the ending, but that sucked.
Because I remember talking about it with Sean Chris at Fortean, because it hadn't dropped yet. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure the Obamas own the production company. It's like the first feature film they're putting out. And that's kind of weird.
Yeah. It's interesting to say the least.
But what was I going to say? Talking about things we experience, and at what point do they stop being coincidence, right? And it made me think about old Crazy Legs, because up until the point when TikTok demon worker, right? Up until that happened, I had never seen that before in my life, right? That image of the lion head with the goat legs. Never. And then it popped up and popped up and popped up. And since we recorded the last Black Cube, which was last weekend, 3 more times he's popped up. When I got on that whole weird Death Currents site and was looking in there, and that one person was talking about working with the demon, and the only other demon even mentioned in it was Crazy Legs. That's one.
Yeah.
I was just doom scrolling through TikTok, right? And anyone who'd listened before, I'd kind of attributed the literary fictional character Haster, I feel like, has something to do with old Crazy Legs. Like in my brain, I'm making a connection that possibly what's his name? Whoever wrote Cthulhu series, I can't think of his name right now. But he was maybe in contact with these beings, and he was putting them into like a literary form. Anyway, regardless, Haster, as I'm doom scrolling through fucking TikTok on the lives, who is following me? I'll go into a live, they'll go into a live. I'll go into a live, they'll go into a live. It's the Yellow King over and over. Just I'll go, it'll go. I'll go, it'll go. So I screenshot it. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And then today I got home from work, worked over, got home. I'm like, man, I'm going to hop on to Reddit and see if I can't find any paranormal news. I jump on there, and the first thing that pops up is this little article talking about the devil's footprints in 1855. They saw those weird footprints. And what image do they use for the devil's footprints but old Crazy Legs?
That's weird.
Stop it at this point. Yeah, Lovecraft. Sorry,
But
my brain just turned off there for a minute. But like what are the odds of that happening? Like am I just like manifesting this to continuously happen?
I don't know.
Because it's strange.
I don't like naturally. I don't think so. No. Because that's weird
Dude,
oddities.
I screen
Keep seeing the thing over and over and over and over and over.
Yeah, I screenshot it because it was just constantly. I don't even know if you can see it, but it says the Yellow King joined, and it was just following. I'm like, that's weird. I'm gonna flop it out here, and then I'd go, and it would go. I'm like, okay, not feeling that.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I wouldn't like that.
It was
very much
weird.
either. It's weird how after our Black Cube series, how many people had Saturn oddities popping up in
Yeah,
their
we
life.
had some emails.
There's a lot.
What was it, on Netflix or one of the streaming services? If you just search the title Saturn, it's like it's like a secret code to bring up just a bunch of horror films.
Yeah. And then there was the one who found the black cube in their garden. There was another one too that I can't remember. A bunch of people talking about it, like taking over their feeds. Oh, really weird shit.
It was strange. Actually, JJ, I screenshot it because I was going to send it to you, and I'm like, I was going to send it to you and be like, the Yellow King is literally chasing me through lives, and I just kind of sat there. I'm like, well, maybe I'm looking into this too much, and then I hop on Reddit today, and there's the Crazy Legs again. Like, I don't know. If he's trying to get my attention, it's working. I don't know. But I did find some weird stuff. I do have a couple weird little things that I was going to talk about tonight. We were rolling tonight. It was good. But everybody remembers the giant 10-foot being from Las Vegas last year, right? Las Vegas news station just did a follow-up with the initial, I call him a kid, but he's probably late teens, 20. Just did a follow-up with him asking if they had seen anything else around the neighborhood and stuff. And he said that he hadn't, but there was weird shit going on in his house now. And the two things that he recalled was one time they had a crucifix on the wall, right? He said his brother yelled at him to come in, and when he came in, the crucifix was upside down, floating in the air. And when he came into the room, the Jesus figurine on the crucifix flew off. Yeah.
Well, that's
and he
gross.
said after that happened, it just dropped. He said then there was another time he went in to one of the rooms, and one of their Bibles that they had was floating in the air, and it had the pages opened up, and it was just like somebody was reading, just turning the pages. Said it wasn't fast, like wind was blowing it. It was just real meticulous and calculated, changing the pages. And he said once I noticed it, it like fell. So that's weird.
I did see somebody sent me something on Instagram about that, and then I did see like a little blurb about it was breaking that down, and it said aliens / demons or something to that degree. So I saw that it alluded to it. So now I know why I was alluding to it, because it had to deal with upside down crosses and things.
It's weird because they even mentioned that it could be fallen angels, like the Nephilim, like the news did. And I'm like, this is where we're at right now. This is where we're
weird.
At. They didn't say Nephilim specifically. They said fallen angels. Wow. I mean,
there's been shitloads of fallen angels talk, and you know what? At this point, I can understand why. There's so much fucking chaos going on the planet that for some people, I'm not saying that it's not that at all whatsoever. For some people, that's what fucking makes sense. To have it in that box, that category. Right? It's a way for their brain to halfway rationalize it. Not to mention, if you think about it, it is probably safer for some people to sit and rationalize fallen angels over extraterrestrials.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Because at least I'm assuming the way their brain's going to think is, well, with fallen angels, our Lord and Savior is going to protect us from these things, so we're good, we're gravy. And there are people that like legitimately live their lives like that, and that's fucking fantastic.
Yeah, it's almost like confirmation bias. I believe in A, so if offshoot of A is A.2, then it kind of confirms A for me. You know what I mean?
Right. And then
same way with it being extraterrestrials.
Exactly.
And then, yeah, what if ETs are fallen? What if fallen angels are ETs?
I don't know, dog. I don't know.
It's weird, but they also said that after that story broke, they interviewed a lot of people around town, around the little subdivision there, and there was a lot of people that saw some weird shit and had weird shit happen. They said a neighbor probably, I don't know, like a couple blocks away, said at the same time that they reported encountering this being, whatever it was, they said all of their televisions and electronics shot out, just took a shit, didn't come back on for a few minutes.
Yeah, that's like classic ET shit too, though.
But it makes me wonder if, like, did they interview these people? They interviewed these people before the story blew up. Like, was it like the same night? Because that would be different if you had one interview over here being like, "Hey, I saw some weird shit," and you had another interview over here being like, "Well, nothing really weird happened except my TV took a dump and my phone wouldn't work for 15 minutes." But if you got this really sensational story and then you go back and ask people are predictable. They want to be part of something. They're going to make shit up. They're going to connect dots that don't exist.
I agree. I absolutely agree. And it sucks, but it's understandable. You know, I can't say I fault people 100% for doing that. I wish they wouldn't, but I kind of get it because, like you said, people just want to be a part of something and they want their 15 minutes. And then they see their opportunity to do it and
jump on it.
They jump on it.
I had one other thing that I thought was weird in a conspiracy vein here. So we're gonna change tracks a little bit. This just dropped today on Seattle Times. Whistleblower Josh Dean of Boeing supplier Spirit Aerosystems has died. Josh Dean, former quality auditor of Boeing supplier Spirit Aerosystems and one of the first whistleblowers to allege that Spirit leadership has ignored manufacturing defects on the 737 MAX, died Tuesday morning after struggling with a sudden and fast-spreading infection. Known as Josh, Dean lived in Wichita, where Spirit is based. He was 45 and had been in good health and was noted for living a very healthy lifestyle. He died after 2 weeks in critical condition. Sus.
A little bit.
Old boy was ready to cost Boeing and Spirit a lot of money. Especially after you see all these videos of planes just falling the fuck apart. And he's like, hey, I know why that's happening, because they're trying to pinch pennies and not give a shit. And they're like, hey, you sound like you're getting sick, bud. You should probably go get that checked out. And then just offed.
That's the way of the world,
yeah,
man.
That's right. End times. I think we talked about that on a night shift. Another Boeing whistleblower who was not thinking about ending it, just happened to end it. Weird.
I think that's the way of the world. I think that from a it's not even a conspiracy anymore. Like, it's just
That's the
reality.
worst part.
Yeah, it's not a conspiracy anymore. And then we've just, like, I mean, the proof's in the fucking pudding, man. Like, I can't really make this argument without political biases, so I'm not going to really make that argument. But we legitimately live, like, okay, over the past course of X amount of years, you have legitimately seen how upper management, the .gov, does everything in their power to protect themselves, to protect their team, right? You had we'll just go quote unquote outsider come in, and they've done everything in their power to hammer this one individual. I could give a fuck less about your political biases. I don't care. It's all .gov to me. I don't give a shit. So don't try to put any of that on me. I'm just pointing out what I see. But what that tells me is that team, both sides of that team, have a vested interest in keeping what's theirs. And they're going to do everything in their power to keep it that way. And if it wasn't that way, then why didn't those politicians who had insider trading, why didn't they go to prison like Martha Stewart did? Right? Well, they don't, because the rules don't apply
They're
for
all
them.
the same.
And when you threaten that, because you can almost guarantee that the people that found out about that insider trading probably had something in their inbox on their front step that is like, hey, listen, you're going to go ahead and be quiet now. Because if you're not quiet, you're going to get sick. And then you're not going to be here no more.
Yeah. I mean,
right?
they're
And that's just the way it is,
they
man.
are all in so much more of a know than we ever are. Look at all the CEOs that stepped down. Just coincidentally,
Exactly.
6 months before the world took a shit.
Right. Exactly.
Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, people get so wrapped up in this day-to-day shit, and dude, they're protecting their team at the end of the fucking day. They're protecting their team. It's not even, the sad thing is, it's not even about their team. 99% sure it's about their investments. That's what they give a fuck about. The dollar signs at the end of the day, baby.
And they keep 90% of the population in such turmoil all the time, at each other's throats, or struggling to make ends meet, or just beat down and depressed or medicated, or however you want to put it. Like, nobody even has the time or energy to look at the root of the problem, because everybody's dealing with all their other shit, all their day-to-day shit.
Exactly. Like, whenever I was talking to the dude I worked with, Deontay, and I'm like, bro, like, you get wrapped up in all this shit that you'll bring to me, and I'm like, have you ever thought that maybe they just, like, maybe that's part of the plan, big dog? Like, maybe, have you ever thought about, like, how busy, like, look at your mom, for example. I'm like, have you ever thought about how busy your mom is every single fucking day? Every day, brother. Think about it. You know, she's got kids she got to take care of. She got a job. She got to pay this bill. And then she got to worry about that bill. And then she got to worry about how she's sick, but she still needs to go to work. And I'm like, now just keep compounding on top of that, on everything. I'm like, everybody is way too busy to care about any of this shit.
You can't fight the elites when you're fighting to survive.
Exactly. Yeah. Brilliantly put.
Sucks.
And that's just the way it is. You know, that's just the way it is. And the ultra sad truth about all of it, and I legitimately believe this in my core, the sad truth is that if upper management would just leave us the fuck alone, like, legitimately, let us have a good economy, let us have affordable stuff, shit like that, every single person in the country, promise you, would be ignorance is bliss. whatever insider trading you boys are doing up there, we don't give a fuck. Because guess what? Old dad's got money in the bank. All right. I can go afford me a $30,000 vehicle today. Right. I ain't worried about it.
Yeah. The left wing and the right wing are on the same bird, and it just wants to eat us. That's a fucking truth.
That's it.
Wants us to work till we're 90
facts.
years old.
It's facts. It's facts.
It's ridiculous.
And it's crazy. It's just crazy. I don't know. And like I said, circling back, I could understand why people are. A lot of people are starting to get religious because it's looking pretty fucking grim out there for a lot of people.
Yeah, it's a weird time.
Every 2 days, there's a new fucking sickness coming, and
yeah,
it's just compounding dog shit on top of dog shit. You know, we need more cool stories, like happy stories. We don't get very many happy stories.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree, Bob. I do think it's more the money is a big part because that's what we all base our lives around down here on the low end.
Right.
But it's power and control.
Oh yeah. But that's a byproduct of money. Because there is no rules for upper management. You know, there's no rules. There's a huge disconnect, and it's just like they just mitigate. Is all they do. They don't really care. They just mitigate. You know, they feel like they got to be mommy and daddy, and like I still don't to this day don't understand why. I understand why you should wear a seatbelt, but it's crazy to me that there are legitimate laws saying that you have to. I think free will is a thing, and if I want to be dumb, I should kind of be able to be dumb.
Get to be dumb.
Yeah, and that may be a poor example, but I think that everybody can understand where I'm coming from when I say that. I wear my seatbelt every day. I do, but I don't know. Like I just think people like if Dylan's in the chat, if Dylan wants to grab an umbrella and jump off his roof because he thinks he's Mary Poppins, it's on Dilmo. I'm gonna advise Dilmo not to. I'm gonna say, Dylan, don't do that. And he's gonna go watch this guy. I'm gonna do it.
You have to wear your seatbelt because you can't pay taxes if you're dead.
Oh, that might be the real truth to it. Don't do it, Dylan. Don't do it. I was just
can't
kidding.
be a cog in the machine, cog in the work machine, the work wheel. If you're not alive, let's hope so.
Dylan, you just end up Judah rolling out of it and being fine.
Judah rolling, then floating into the forest like a Hopkinsville goblin.
I was just getting ready to say that too.
There was some people in the chat earlier that were really digging the old goblin episode.
It was good, man. It was fun.
A fun change of pace. I started reading some of the articles on that shit, and it's so off kilter that I think like they had to see something, right?
I agree, absolutely.
Especially for it to be so weird, they had to see something, and them all be on the same page. Like, I don't think any amount of moonshine could get like 12 backwoods folks on the same page about judo rolling goblins.
Dude, it was fucking solid. Like I said, that was the first time I've ever heard that story in its entirety, like all of it, and it's 100% asinine, but it's fantastic.
Too weird not to be true, right? That's what Chris said. That's absolutely it. There was another goblin program dropped. Dang, we should have just doubled up. Did we ever talk about furries? No. We never have delved down that avenue. So, yeah. yeah, never went. Fairies, yes. Dogmen have fur.
Yeah, I don't know much about furries other than it gets weird.
On furries. Furry. Oh no, we're not going this route. Anyway, goblins. So
Yeah. That episode was fun.
Had some twists and turns.
Yeah. And that little snippet that I posted, like I told Steve, I was like, it felt so scripted, like when I heard it, because like just the way that it filled, like, I don't know, us making sound effects with it, and just the way our band, like, it just literally felt like it wasn't real, but it was 100% real and just off kilter. Like, we were just shooting from the hip, like we always do.
If you guys would have been sitting in the recording room with us and just watching it evolve into whatever it turned into there.
Yeah, because we're to the point now where I don't have to edit down things. Like, I don't cut. I do it a lot. I know I'm fucking notorious for it, but I'll be talking and I'm thinking, so I take this like pause, almost like Elon Musk does to a degree, and I pause in my talking a lot. I don't cut those out. I don't cut any of it out anymore. I just let it be what it is. Right. And then, so the point I'm trying to make is, like, I didn't cut down silence in that. Like, it's all recorded the way that it was said, 100%.
Even when I was writing it, putting the articles together and trying to take information from A and put it into context with B and just getting it all sorted, like, I knew it was weird the way that the different outlets were describing how they described it, but I didn't realize it was going to be as funny as it was whenever it
was hilarious,
ended.
Man, it was funny. I enjoyed it. There's definitely a cool change of pace, especially coming off the Black Cube being so fucking down.
And that was your all fault. You voted for the Goblin, so you manifested that here in the chat.
It was awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, it was a good one. Guys. Like I said, the first time I've actually heard the story in its entirety. I haven't. I guess I just always 2 + 2 from Hell Yeah, Really.
And it's kind of one of those, like I said, it's the staple for the little green men incident, you know.
Oh yeah,
even though they weren't green,
absolutely.
But it twisted into that. So,
yep.
Bob Dackler said, so each time one of them got shot, it was like the suit went into auto retrieve mode, floated them back to the ship. I could hear the ping like a carnival game in my mind. It's because they were from the carnival. They were monkeys from the carnival. When I got into those theories, I'm like, people are really believing this.
And I love it. Like, you have no idea how much I would love to be able to go to a small podunk ass town and talk to people about, we'll just use this as an example. Say we're there asking about the goblins. We meet somebody at the local diner and they're like, let me tell you boys something. I know what happened. Okay. I know what happened.
We should, that should be our lives right now.
They came from the carnival. Okay. They came from the carnival. And they thought they were going to terrorize us country folk. But we taught them a thing or two.
Keep them things on us.
Yeah.
It was way,
like, even if I thought that it was 100% asinine, 100% asinine, the fact that this person is sitting here 100% convinced that it was carnies were fucking with his family, I would be all in. All the fucking. I would love to sit and listen to that.
It's weird because me and Kyle got like a sweet spot in our the information that we go off of. So usually about 2,000, 2,500 words will get us to where we need to be to like make it an hour. And I was pretty short on that when I'm like, Kyle, the information I'm getting is getting out there. So I'm like,
I got you.
We're sitting about 1,500. We're going to have to make her work. And I don't even think we tried.
Hell yeah.
It just wrote itself from there on out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Luckily I'm inquisitive and I do ask questions.
Yeah, that story wrote its own questions because that was fucking weird.
It does. And it was just fun. It was fun to banter about and have a conversation about.
I thought it was cool as fuck that people were actually out there putting boots on the ground, measuring the time it'd take from point A to point B, where the military could have got there. They couldn't have. They should have already been in the area, which is sus, weird. And then
yes,
the idea that the family members that experienced it wouldn't even talk about it with future family members. Either they were, it had to boil down to two things. They were so ridiculed that they just were trying to forget about it, or that they were so terrified by what they encountered that they were trying to forget about it.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It was a cool story, though. Yeah. Now I got to try to write something for this upcoming weekend, and I don't have anything. I got to figure that out.
I have some ballparks, but nothing. Usually I go into stuff and I know a little bit, so it makes research easy. I'm kind of on the...
There's some cool topics, but I feel like the topics are not going to be easy to... info on.
I keep thinking about going into like the weird Disney conspiracies, because those are weird.
Oh, those are plentiful.
And they're already out there. They kind of write themselves.
Yeah. I saw a reference to black goo the other day, and now my brain has been wanting to learn about that shit.
Yeah. I do have a starter episode for our old buddy.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like, that's probably going to be like the one that it gets focused on when you look at that shit. It's going to be him. So it's going to be hard to find different versions of information on that. And there's a lot of cool ones out there like that are just short and sweet. Like, they don't have a whole lot of meat to them. At least, at the surface level anyways. There's also a news source that I'm going to start checking out. I'll let you guys know if it pans out to be anything cool or not. I'm going to vet it first. There's some weird references that I've been seeing here of late that I definitely want to go check out.
I did. When we were looking into the Black Cube, I stumbled onto this. I'm out of my element here, so if everybody already knows about it, just hush up. This thing called death currents, and
it's definitely weird.
It's weird. Let me pull it up. Talk amongst yourselves here, and I'll pull it up.
Yeah, I don't know if I said it during the episode or not, but that was one thing that I found weird, how Arthur called everything currents. I found that to be interesting. Yeah, and then how it leads to essentially kind of the same stuff. Hold on, no, I can't find it. Okay, why won't this tell me what I want to know here? Talk amongst yourselves, still looking. Okay, here. Death current is practitioners dedicated to death and chthonic deities, necromancy, and related paths. The death current can be defined as aligning oneself with the energy of death. It's a current of transition, transformation, and change. A path to embrace the shattering of illusions and accept death in any form it may take. So, digging around, I find a giant PDF link with tons of information, like tons of manuscripts and shit on necromancy and all of this weird shit that I saved.
but I'm too scared to open.
You should
I
open
probably
them.
will.
And James, what am I fact checking again? Because I am a certified
You are a
factologist.
factologist.
Yes.
Not to be confused with a proctologist. Just put that
Right
out there.
Yeah.
Let me pull up this. Let me find this here PDF link and see what some of them books were, because they're weird.
Some of them were fucking weird. I remember that.
Yeah, they were. They were. Which isn't, and oddly enough, this is also where Old Crazy Legs popped up when it just popped up while we were looking at this. I'm like, get out of here. Talk amongst yourselves. Found it. All right, here are some of the books in this giant Google Docs thing we have here. Manifestations of the Left Palm. Necromantic Sorcery. Just Necromancy. Communicating with the spirits of the magical practice of necromancy. Devoted to Death. Forbidden Rites, a necromancer's manual of the 15th century.
There's a lot of necromancy going on.
Yeah, it is. The Gospel of the Ghouls, the Necromantic Ritual Book, The Path of Shadows.
For some reason, that one sounds extraordinarily gross. The Gospel of the Ghouls.
There's a trio of books here called Liber Falxifer, which I have no idea what they're about, but the first one's called the Book of the Left-Handed Reaper. The second one is the Book of Analamaquin, and the third one is the Book of the 52 Stations of the Crosses of Nod. I'm out of my element, Donnie.
Oh, yeah.
So there's that. I always play as Necro in Diablo 4. Can't help it. I manifested myself.
Yeah, man, you just gotta. You can't go with meta. You just go with what you like.
True.
That's what I do whenever I play. Although I'm a rogue.
I don't know. They said the left palm. I'm going to assume it probably has to do with left-handed paths.
Absalom from X-Files. Who was that? I'm drawing a blank. And I don't like it.
Yeah, it's weird that I stumbled on there, but I did save it. So,
yeah, in case you ever want to
purposes, if we ever do an episode on necromancy, I have about 15 books of texts that might be ancient. I don't know. I don't even know what they say, but I have them.
Steve's currently got to learn Latin so he can read real ones.
Yes. Or
so you should probably get Rosetta Stone and start learning Latin.
Unspeakable ancient dead languages that we haven't spoken in millennia. Is there?
You can do it.
Ready.
And then I'll cash in
the Money in the Bank briefcase and become the world champion.
Yeah. I was just going to say, I was going to get on our new sponsors webpage and order me some boots.
Oh yeah. You got, did that drop today? Oh yeah.
I think
How'd you like that cowboy boot ad read for those that listened? If it dropped today, it's supposed to be in May. We don't know.
Yeah, it was good.
Kyle was scoping him some kicks, let me tell you.
Oh my Lord, guys. They got some snakeskin boots on that motherfucker.
Fucking boa skin sneaks.
If they would have had it in my size, I 100% without question would have bought those boots. On the credit card you go.
Mm-hmm.
Zip.
I mean,
like I wouldn't have cared. Those would be my
There's
new
one
dress
thing
shoes.
that's going to intimidate a dog man. It's going to be gator skin boots.
Yeah. It's freaking awesome. They're probably some of the coolest snakeskin boots I've ever seen. They're python.
They were python.
They're sick.
I wish they would have had your size because that was.
They had Latin in your high school? That's crazy.
Oh, that's adult.
What do we have? We had
Spanish,
French,
yeah.
Spanish.
Yeah, since there's so many French-speaking people in Jerseyville.
Well, yeah. I would guarantee it, Bob.
Yeah.
Guarantee it. Especially if you're wearing some slick boots. Yeah. 100%. I feel like Dogman boots would just basically be like, you know what boots I'm thinking of. You know what boots I'm thinking of. Like the fur all the way, like Ugg boots with fur.
With the fur. Twist is already in it.
Yeah, he does have it locked down.
I'm trying to think of anything else weird happened. I don't know. The only things that really caught my eye was Crazy Legs showing up again. Kid from Las Vegas making a reappearance, and don't try to narc out any giant money making industry because you'll get snuffed out.
Oh yeah, that's just a given. We all know that.
I can't ever imagine being important enough for a giant billion-dollar company to want to murder me.
No.
But maybe someday.
I don't know. I'm going to say probably not.
Wifey's in here saying those boots are going to be perfect for the outing Friday.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they don't have them, so, and I'm not one to buy stuff for certain occasions, so.
It could be a write-off. Technically, it could be part of the Holosky uniform.
They don't have it in my size anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Have to kill some more snakes.
They had 7.5 and 15.
I wonder how many more snakes it takes to make a 15 than a 7.5.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Interesting. The world may never know.
They probably won't. They probably won't.
No, they're singing "Get Low" over here. Something.
I don't blame them.
Can't remember the name.
Catch your tune.
Yeah. All the dogs in the neighborhood be waking up and pissing on your boots.
Probably.
About 3.5 more snakes, Nate said.
Size 15 is pretty good. I mean, it's a pretty good.
I guess it depends on the size of the snakes.
Yeah, that's true.
What else they had? They had crocodile or alligator? Crocodile? Alligator? Both?
Yeah, they had crocodile, caiman,
ostrich,
snake.
Yeah. On average, 1 snake for 1 boot. This is information I never really wanted, but now I have.
Yeah.
I don't know how many furries it takes to make a size 15 boot. I don't know.
That's definitely one that one's for the books.
Those would be real life Crocs. Good one. Money.
That is slick.
Ugh.
Underground reptilian boots.
Yeah. Yes, it is. Well, while we're all hanging out, everybody hit the like button because that's what friends do. Hit the subscribe button, the notification bell. You won't miss out on it on this marvelous show. Where we kept on topic this week for the most part. The furries and the boots, we trying to steer it together. We kept it paranormal with Dogman. Do I look different than normal? I did get some of my hair cut off, but I always wear a hat anyway. Kyle, do I look like my normal self? Maybe more tired than normal, less tired.
I mean, I feel like you're the same. Although there was one feature that I thought was different about
My
you,
gray
but that was
beard.
it. No. For a minute there, it kind of looked like you had eyeliner on.
I don't. Sometimes I get coke dust here. Guy liner.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like your eyelashes are darker than
Maybe
normal.
there's still coke dust in them.
That is a possibility that I didn't consider. I thought maybe it was just the lighting or something, but being a little bit off. But
guy liner. I'm sitting lower than usual. That's a weird observation, Twiz. I don't know if it's true or not. My seat only raises like this much, and half the time it doesn't work.
Yeah, my seat at Steve's is the one that naturally lowers.
Well, mine does too. Now they're both.
Oh, does it?
Bald.
Nice.
I have hair here. I have a bald spot, but that's like stress or alopecia or something. But it moves around my head.
Oh, you have a bald spot again?
Yeah.
That's weird.
It's weird because I have a lot more gray. I got this little skunk trail here, but yeah, I have this like nickel-sized bald spot that'll come and go, different spots in my head. And then like all the hair will fall out smooth and then it'll grow back like white for like a half an inch. And then my regular hair color will come back. Yeah, it's probably an autoimmune disease that I won't go to the doctor and find out about.
Whatever, man. Well, what happened to me then? Because my hair just stays. You molt like a bird.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. It's been going on for a while. Probably stress. Maybe the Nephilim are altering my DNA.
It's been happening to you for quite some time.
My whole life is stress. Not so much anymore.
I can definitely remember Pepsi when your hair was falling out. So
not so much anymore, except for the last probably last 2 months since work got all flip flopped and stupid. They're like, "Hey, you're gonna be an unpaid, unofficial trainer now for the rest of your life." And I said,
"Cool,
so fuck, dude, dry me." Look like a couple. Oh, these are always here. These dark circles under my eyes, they never go away. I could sleep for the next 14 years and they would still be here. I've had them since I was little. All the big tornadoes is weird. Definitely. I follow a lot of storm chasers and they had an anti-cyclonic tornado that they clocked today, which normally tornadoes turn in a counterclockwise motion, right? This one was going clockwise.
One was going backwards.
They call them anti-cyclonic. Yeah.
That's weird. That's new.
There were some big ones. I heard that one in Nebraska and Iowa was the first F5 in like 10 years. Bro, I saw a TikTok. I'll send it to you. A semi-truck, no trailer, wrapped around a tree. It blew it into the tree and just bent it around it. All you can see the frame around the trunk of the tree.
That's so crazy.
Our portal is Anticyclonic.
It does what it wants.
Yeah, I saw some pictures from that. There was a photo of a cemetery and it tore off all the headstones. Shit's nuts.
Yeah, I'm not vibing those big tornadoes.
Oh, hell with a tornado. If anything can like throw a twig through a concrete wall, I'm good.
That's pretty scary. Yeah.
It is crazy to me that there was not more. Well, it's not crazy, I guess, but it's awesome that there was not more fatalities because that tornado was a fucking monster and it tore through some towns. But I guess they had like almost a 45-minute to an hour warning that they'd been putting out and got people to safety. They said it was one of the biggest tornado outbreaks between Friday and Saturday night. There was like 100 tornadoes, 78 to 100 tornadoes that broke out. And there were some big bastards in there. And the human, what's the word I'm looking for? Casualties, albeit there were some, they were fewer than what one would have imagined.
See, it's about time to shut her down, and now all these
weather modification and Brazilian plagues. And, I can't say that word on TikTok.
Yeah, Elon Musk, false prophet, opening portals and shit. Like, what? Come on, guys. Do better. Do better.
Do I need to Google what dengue fever is? I've heard of it, but I don't know what it is. And if I look at it, will it make me not want to get it? Because I already don't want to get it, but I definitely won't want to get it if like my eyes are going to bleed and shit.
Oh, yeah, that sucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Remember Zika? We used to joke about that at work.
Dude, when Maddox was little, that was like the big thing when he was little. And he goes, Dad, we'd be playing outside and there'd be like a mosquito on him. He's like, Dad, I don't want to get Zika because it's going to shrink my head. And I said, that's not how that works, buddy. But it's good to be vigilant.
We would just get bit at work and then we'd be like, Zika, oh, well, get Zika now. Then we'd smack it. I did see that there's a new tick virus breaking out. It's another, what do you call that? It affects your nervous system.
Of course there is.
So it fucks you up real bad because it messes with your nervous system. Apparently it's in the northeast real bad right now, which it'll drop down. It'll cut through here.
I hate ticks, so
Same.
Hopefully their nervous system's fucked up.
I burn them every chance I get.
Me and Dylan went fishing 2-3 weeks ago. Like all we did was walk through grass, and I picked 2 ticks off of me.
Bro, that's where they're the worst. Tall grass is where they are the
tall.
worst.
Like, wasn't even over my shoes. It's probably this tall.
Oh yeah, well, I'm talking like knee-high grass. They're wretched in there.
Little bastards.
Dude, they suck. That one day we were out there, we weren't even in the woods for very long.
Depending on where you get bit, Birdie, it could be.
Yeah, I've seen the tick that makes you allergic to red meat. Everywhere has like the ticks have been extraordinarily bad this year. They're everywhere. And it's probably because we didn't have as cold of a winter.
Yeah. I heard possums fuck them up too.
Yeah, possums eat the shit out of ticks. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But I need to get a couple of those to hang out with me at work.
That would be.
They'll be bad. They'll be bad and thick for a couple months, and then they usually slack off. It's like they
That'd be a
disperse.
flex for your new bosses if you just walked in with like 6 possums on your shoulders. I'd be like,
Be
this
awesome.
dude.
I wouldn't be mad if they were on point. Like they saw a tick climbing up me, and they were like, "Oh my god, this!" I'm like, hell yeah, dude!
Oh,
You're gonna have a lot of them out here. So, yeah, they're bad, and they just spread diseases like crazy.
I think that was my sign. It's about that time.
Wow. It is about that time.
Everybody that just popped in with all these talking points, now that we're getting ready to shut down, make note of them for next week when we're on talking points.
Please. And I was going to open the phone lines like way early today, but boy, oh boy, did we get sidetracked fast.
Yeah, that's not a bad thing though. That was good. It was a good conversation.
No, I'm not mad. Yeah, I'm not mad at it. Yeah.
Yeah. And a couple of these things we're talking about here up in the chat, we got to be careful mentioning them on the old YouTuber here.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they yelled at us last time.
Especially things with health things we can't talk about.
Although I'm very interested in what you're saying there, Batman.
I've heard it.
Not to mention classic name,
I've heard
classic
it's pinging
character.
at beef farms. Like I heard there's a couple of them shut down in Texas.
Hey, I've been working in a cow pasture for 2 weeks. Awesome.
Dude, what was a cow? What?
I've been working in a cow pasture for the 2 weeks.
That's
so awesome.
Even worse.
And I've been sick, so even better.
Yeah. What? I was gonna get a possum tattoo at one time.
Probably should get a full back tat.
I had a buddy of ours draws like I forget, traditional style tattoos, and I had him draw me a possum holding a can of Monster and a hot wing in the other possum hand, paw, whatever it is, and it just said "Eat trash, die fast," and I was gonna get that, but
I mean, I can respect that because it's almost like a die-hard thing there.
Yeah, I got the drawing somewhere. If I find it, I'll let everybody see it. Eat trash, die fast. Because that's what possums do. They eat trash and get ran over. But anyway.
This is true.
Hey, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. If you didn't like the episode, please take the time to comment it, and we will probably make fun of you on the next episode. So, that's how that works.
It's true.
That's how that works. Yeah. Again, thanks for everybody in the chat hanging out. We appreciate you all. Thanks for listening to us talk. Thanks for having your own little side conversations over here. It's pretty much normal. I was going to say weird, but weird is the new normal here.
Yeah, that's subjective.
Thanks for everybody being cool. Again, if you guys hear like through the week, this is just as much your show as it is ours. If you see some weird stuff during the week, note it in your phone, save the web page, and you can even call in and talk about that kind of stuff. Like, save it. Give us some ideas to run off of, because we're scouring the internet too.
As we keep that up, we'll open the phone lines extra early.
Just remember, we can't talk about health stuff because we'll get fired.
Yeah. Try to use code words if you do.
Yeah. Cow sickness. Can we say sickness?
It's even furries.
Yeah, they've been going hard.
Come on, man.
Different strokes for different folks, I guess.
I guess so.
But yeah. Till next time. Stay safe. Stay weird. And maybe, I don't know. I got nothing this round. We'll see you down the road.